What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, you know the vibes, man. Definitely want to thank you guys for coming. Appreciate you guys for clicking this video today. This video is going to be one of my favorite builds that I've been running so far in the dark zone. This is a build that you guys are going to love for sure, man. If you're looking for a RIDGEWAYS bleed chest build, man, with some crazy damage, with some insane crits, this build has over 200% critical hit damage. It's stupid nasty. You're gonna love this build, man. If you guys are into that type of content, man, just consider liking, subscribing, man. Join the Vibe fam, man. We'd love to have you guys, man. We're rolling. Just want you guys to be a part of the mix, right? All right, man. If also you guys are missing out on the streams, man, we're live over on Twitch, man. Pull up, come show some love, man. I'll show you guys that love right back, man. So I'll catch you guys at the end for the description. Peace. Nice.
Behind me. Noob is on, bro. He's low.
You're not gonna make it. Look. Yo, y'all come stand next to me so we can take a pic. We're gonna put this in the build video. Things we do while we're manhunt. Hey, let's go. All right, back to fighting. Let's get it.
Is that you know the vibe?
Sure is. No, fam. Fuck them. Eat that. One good. I'm never taking this bleed chest piece off. Never. Got the all red dude out. I went out. One book. Let's go, book. Baited him. Baited him. Straight crispy. I got your back.
I got. Let me get the ones, y'all.
No such thing.
Nah,
We jumping shit out. We stomp people to head out.
Yeah, he dead.
Wash. No TK. Out. He's cooked right there. He's trying to pop. On my back. He throwing the nades instead of looking at me. Crack. I'm dead. Here comes MTK. They're pushing up now. Punch. That was clipped. Oh my God. Beamed them. Thank you. Straight from. Got you, right? Gotta make a move. Grenade bill.
GG's.
Only matter of time, bro. All right, so if you made it to this part of the video, you guys are the real OGs, man. I appreciate you for pulling up. Listen, man, let's get right into this build video. I got to get right into the description. All right, so let's talk about this really fast, right? Sadis. I got Sadis on my SMG and my AR, right? And the reason why I'm running this build this way, I'll get into the details of it, but let's go into the stats really quick first, right? Like I want to talk about the stats, if I can just get to it, right? So I'm at 60 crit chance, 192 crit damage on my Vector. Vector is gonna come with 1200 RPM. This build is different. If you're looking at the build, you're like, how the hell does Vibes have 192% crit hit damage? I'll get into that and I'll explain all that to you right now. All right, so of course, you're gonna have to rock the RIDGEWAYS chest piece. This is something you definitely wanna have for your build, man. You need this RIDGEWAYS chest piece. And the reason why you wanna have this is because shooting enemies is gonna give you bleeding edge, right? Shooting enemies within 15 meters applies bleed to the target, repairing up to from 3 to 48% of your armor per second for every enemy that is bleeding. So like if you want to get more regen, you can definitely run this build with a bleed hive. Some people like to run this RIDGEWAYS chest piece with armor regen on the build, but the repair strength per number is, if you got one enemy bleeding, it's 3% armor. If you got 2, it's 6, 3 is 12, 4 is 24, 5 is 48. So, you know, if you can get everybody to bleed, that's why sometimes people run creep and death and a bleed hive just to make sure that they're getting crazy armor back. But you guys can decide how you want to rock it. This is a crit damage build mainly. All right, so of course I am rocking 1-piece, 2-piece soul glove actually, right? So this is definitely how you get your crit damage high, especially when you're running an SMG build, right? So you want to run 1-piece soul glove, and that's for SMG damage 10%, and then the second piece is going to give you critical hit damage, which is 15%. That's a high number. And of course I could fully optimize this and get my stats to be a little bit better, but as you guys can see, I'm already at 60% critical hit chance, so that's not going to go up. That's the cap, and I'm at 192 crit damage. So the gloves, crit chance, crit damage. You're gonna roll armor, so you want crit chance, crit damage on every piece, right? Now let's talk about the backpack. The backpack, I am running a golden perfectly wicked backpack, right? So the backpack, as you can see, perfectly wicked, applying a status effect increases total weapon damage by 18%. Now this is important because with perfectly wicked, that I would say that I never run out of wicked. You're always gonna have that buff. You're always gonna be doing that damage. That 18% is a good number to never lose. Like that's an extra 18% buff on top of whatever you're doing. I'm also rocking Grupo, crit chance, crit damage on my knee pads, and that's gonna give me critical hit damage. Now, if you peep game, SMGs already come with crit chance on it already. So when you run 2-piece Sokolov for the second piece, giving you critical hit damage, and you run Grupo, you're getting an extra 30% critical hit damage on this build without any of your stats that's rolled on the pieces. So that's how you can get your crit damage up. Even if you're not using an SMG and you want to just stack crit damage, you can do that as well. You guys can figure out how, you know, different ways to get your crit damage high. And I'm also using a Picaro's holster for obvious reasons. That 15% weapon damage is like having a red core in your build. This build is like having a red core, a blue core, and critical hit damage. So you can't go wrong with a Picaro's, man. It's just best in slot right now for the holster. Now let's talk about the gun, right? I am rocking a Vector SBR9. And like I said, 1200 RPM, it's about 54 round mag. I got 19% optimization expertise on this gun. So if you're using this gun, you may not have this much damage depending on if you can get your gun expertise or not. But I'm telling you, this gun definitely does damage, but it's a different type of play style. It's a different way you're gonna have to play this build. Mainly because when you're rocking this build, you don't have unbreakable, especially if you're a guy like me in the dark zone where everybody's targeting you, everybody's going after you, trying to get you out of here. It's definitely important for you to play and pick your spots and decide when you're going to face tank. But I can tell you right now, people are typically not ready for this. The only thing, as a disclaimer, I want to make sure everybody's aware of, if you're using this gun and you're using this build and you're making people bleed who have the Ouroboros, most likely they will make you bleed back. So you might want to run a booster just to kind of alleviate getting bled back. But they're not going to have Sadis on their gun. So the reason why you want to run a Sadis, for anybody that's new to the game, I'm going to read the talent just because some people are new to the game. They don't really know what Sadis is. Sadis is a gun talent, right? And if you rock Sadis on the SMG, you're going to deal 20% weapon damage to bleeding enemies. You make, anytime you ADS with the RIDGEWAYS Pride, as long as they're within a certain amount of meters, you're always going to make them bleed. And then you're going to have that 20 on top of the 18% that you're getting from Wicked. So that's an extra 38% on top of whatever the gun does, right? And for my secondary, I'm running the FAMAS with Sadis as well. So just in case it's a medium range game, maybe a little bit mid-long, you can definitely use this FAMAS with Sadis. Just get the bleed on them and then proc that, right? So let's look at the stats on the FAMAS. The FAMAS is sitting pretty nice too, man. 54 crit chance, 182 crit damage. You can't go wrong with that, man. I'm telling you guys, this build is it. This build slaps. And I'm rocking the card pistol mainly because, you know, sometimes you got to throw sledge depending on the server that you're fighting against. If you don't know what sledge is, Sledgehammer, for any of my new players or people that's returning to the game that may not know what sledge does. Dealing damage with a grenade, which is why sometimes, you know, people throw grenades. You're not understanding why. Why am I seeing this red hammer UI effect? What's happening? Why? How come I'm not running fast? Well, throw a grenade and you deal damage. Whoever gets hit with that grenade, they are going to take 30% more damage to armor, and they're going to have a minus 20% movement speed. So imagine being able to do 20% more damage to somebody's armor, and they're moving minus 20% slower than they're already moving with you having bleed. So it's a nasty combination depending on how you guys rock it, right? So that's it, man. That's the build, man. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If this build helped you out in any way, you know, let me know down in the comment section below. If you're rocking Ridgeway and maybe you're doing it differently, let me know, man. For me, I love to run this vector, and that's for close range fights. And if it becomes a long range fight or a mid range fight, I can still beam out on my FAMAS, still gets the job done. Like I said, just pick your spots. I wanted to play with something different. This is a build that I'm definitely keeping. This is a build that's part of my main loadouts. And that's it, man. I hope you guys enjoy it, man. It's your boy, I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.